Mute yourself, please. Everybody mute themselves.
Me too.
Only you and Manoj stay unmuted. Admitting all from the waiting room. We are live streaming. All are joined from the waiting room. The waiting room has been disabled. Vimal, take over.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and a very warm welcome to you. My name is Bimal Shastri. I am a Freemason, and Brother Manoj and I today together will be taking you on a virtual tour of the Freemasons Hall in Bombay and a few other Freemasons halls besides. The foundation stone for the Freemasons Hall in Bombay was laid on the 5th June of 1897. And for the past several years, on the Sunday closest to that date, we've been holding an open house meeting where we invite all members of the general public to come. We take them on a tour of the hall. We answer their questions and we sit and we have a talk with them. Now, for the last couple of years, because of COVID restrictions, we have been unable to hold these meetings in physical form. So we have started holding them in virtual form. This is the second virtual meeting. I now hand you over to Brother Manoj to take you ahead with the rest of the meeting. Brother Manoj, thank you.
Thank you so very much, Brother Bimal Shastri, for setting the tone of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the second edition of Virtual Open House of Freemason Hall under the District Grand Lodge of Bombay. I thank one and all for sparing your valuable time in a June Sunday morning. I can also see a few of my friends, family, and fellow Masons, and I'm deeply touched by your presence. My name is Manoj Kanandodat, and I'm a Freemason. So let me share the slide. I hope it's visible. The slide.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. When you first registered for this virtual meet, so many curious questions would have come to your mind, right? About the various information that you have got from various media. Some intriguing, some factual, some fictitious. Okay. Without much ado, let me give a small explanation of who are Freemasons, their origin, their existence, what is Freemasonry, what are the different degrees of Freemasonry, why it's called a temple, etc. Let me try and give you a small explanation of all of the above stated questions before I take you through a virtual tour of the Freemason Hall and the temple and its various geometrical attributes, the symbolic aspects, positions, and functions attached to it. So firstly, who are Freemasons? And what is Freemasonry? How it evolved during times. Freemasons were stonemasons originally from Europe. They lived in temporary structures called logias in Italian, which translated into lodges in England, in English. They were a close-knit community which consisted of master architect, master masons, craftsmen, apprentices, etc. They were engaged in building edifices like castles, palaces, and Gothic structures like churches, cathedral, chapels, and provided entire services to erect contracted buildings. So it was like in those days, if you wanted to build a castle, the master of that particular group was called in, and the entire team were present to engage in the project. These group of masons were highly disciplined, as one person was in charge of the group, and they were highly cohesive group. They were guided by strict code of conduct, which maintained high levels of qualities like honesty, integrity, morality, religious belief, and so on. Through the ages, stonemasons were proficient in cutting, polishing, and finishing the stones. The secret of precision and quality check were highly guarded among themselves. They were handed over or passed over to their juniors, making them more proficient and later on expected to progress on excellence of work. This secret of proficiency of the technique were passed on from generations to generations, and it remained in the group with no divergence to the outside group, for that matter of fact, outer world. This led to a tight-knit group, and the secrets were controlled by that particular group. Every group had their own signs, symbols, way of greeting each other, etc. Over a period of time, a lot of communities mushroomed, and we could see a lot of groups, since a lot of buildings were made during that time. See, I'm talking about 1,000 years ago, during the period of Renaissance and so on. Life was tough, and there were a lot of hard work, but work was plentiful. But because of the structure of the society and the closeness within the group, Masons enjoyed it all. Others outside noticed the happiness and unity of the Masons and wanted to become a part of these groups. Even though they were not actually stonemasons, they were only Masons or associated families. As the time passed, a group of nobles, the so-called affluent and influential people, were allowed to join the society, not out of preference, but out of sheer necessity and compulsion. Because if you have a noble-blooded person in the group who is affluent and influential, along with pride comes protection. So it is good to have somebody noble in the group so that it will be highly useful in future. But they were allowed to join not as operative Masons, but because they were not stonemasons, but as Freemasons. Soon, many more Freemasons emerged, and they formed their own lodges. They had their own rules and regulations to run the lodges in the style of the operative Masons, because they wanted to maintain the bedrock of the original operative Masons' quality of honesty, integrity, morality. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to a brief account of one of the world's oldest organization with written record of Freemasonry for over 300 years. Okay. By 1700 AD, there were a critical mass of number of lodges that were in existence and were organized under a few umbrella bodies across various countries in Europe. These holding bodies came together to form United Grand Lodge of England in 1717. 4 years back, we celebrated the tricentenary of the existence of United Grand Lodge of England, which was a spectacular event held at London and simultaneously in other parts of the world. Now, let me give you a brief on why it is called a temple. Among the super edifices built by the operative Masons was the magnificent temple of King Solomon in Jerusalem in BC 957. The temple was reputed to be the perfect structure ever created. Therefore, the temple was adopted by the Freemasons as their symbol. Hence, in Masonic buildings, separate rooms were set aside as temples. It's in these temples that meetings of the Mason take place. Hence, it is called the Masonic temple. The symbol on the left, here represents the logo of the United Grand Lodge of England, that comprise of a square and a compass in a blue circle. Both square and compass being the tools of an operating Mason. On the right represents the Silvery Dawn Lodge. Here. This is the logo of a lodge. And I belong to this lodge as a Freemason. So let's move to the next slide. This is a picture of Freemason Hall at Mumbai. It's around 4 minutes walk from CST, Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, and located bang opposite to Sterling Cinema. Intersection of Mursban Street and Revelin Street, for those of you are familiar with South Bombay. Also, it is diagonally opposite to the TCS house. It is a ground plus 2 structure, and the foundation stone was laid on Sunday morning of 5th June 1897. So it is a 124 years old building as of yesterday. And next year, we shall complete the milestone of 125 years for this building. It is a well-maintained building. It takes a lot of maintenance efforts, as you know. Painting work has started, as you see in the picture, but due to COVID, it is still to be completed. This building is a grade 2 structure, meaning building with a special architecture or aesthetic merit, but of local importance. Whereas CST is a grade 1 structure due to its national and international importance in Africa. Our building is in a very good condition and duly certified by Bombay Heritage Committee. In this picture, you will see the carports and the entrance. In between the trees, you see here there's a restaurant called Goose and Gridiron. This name is of historical importance because it is at this restaurant in London where the launch of United Grand Lodge of England was formalized. This restaurant has Masonic inspired ambience and menu, and also caters to the banquets of the hall. In Masonic tradition, as well as in the Indian Vastu, the stone is laid in northeast corner of the building is of significant importance. The northeast cornerstone is always the first stone laid for constructing any building. This slide shows the northeast corner of the Freemason Hall laid on June 5th, 1897 by Lord William Baron Sandhurst. He was the governor of Bombay and also the district Grand Master of Bombay. Many of you from Mumbai knows a station called Sandhurst, but would not know about this, would have not known about this great Masonic personality. The building was completed in less than 2 years and it was inaugurated on March 8th, 1899. Although the stone you see is a bit sunk due to the surroundings, getting raised up over the period of time, but great care has been taken to preserve this cornerstone. In the evening, the light is lit in order to keep the spirit of the building alive. Any day, one can see this beautifully maintained cornerstone. Here comes the foyer. So we reach the foyer here, and from the car porch, this is the entrance, and we reach the foyer. Here you see the statue of Ardeshir Usetji, who was the first secretary of the temple and took great initiative for the building. The tiles that you see here are the Belgian tiles. This is the Belgian tiles, and it's imported directly from Belgium. Even today, it maintains sparkle and shine. Thanks to the fabulous maintenance of the building, the door on the center leads to Framji Kawasji dining hall. So this is the magnificent Framji Kawasji dining hall. It is used for large gatherings and has a seating capacity of 120 members. The wall of this massive dining hall is adorned by pictures and portraits of past high-standing dignitaries of Freemasonry. This hall sports an upstairs gallery where, in olden days, live band used to play in order to entertain the guests. So this is the picture of the dining hall, ready and prepared with the serving staff, with also a picture of the banquet in progress. Such events have a proper sit-down printed menu with a 5-course meal, which is something to look forward to. It boasts of well-decorated tablewares, glasswares, and a classic fine dining experience. We are back to the foyer, and all the other 3 pictures are of the staircase, which is an important element of this virtual tour. The staircase leads to the temple on the 2nd floor. You can see the fine filigree work on the iron stair railing, all original from the day one. Here is a close view of the chandelier overseeing the foyer. This fantastic shot is taken from below, that is from the foyer. Few more pictures of the fine, delicate filigree work on the ventilator and the staircase railing. The picture also shows the view of these stairs to reach the 2nd floor. The full carpet treatment gives the interior a rich vintage look. This picture on the top is a picture of the 2nd floor where the temple is. The photograph shows senior officers waiting to enter the temple for a meeting. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the breathtaking view of our temple. This is such an inspiring, immaculate image of the temple, isn't it? All in perfect geometry. The blue ceiling is just an eye-catching, just like the big blue sky. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know that all places of worship are aligned in east-west direction. Likewise, the temple too is aligned in east-west direction. Now you know the reason why east-facing houses are most sought after according to Vastu Shastra. This directional arrangement symbolizes two things. East to symbolize the rising sun, west to symbolize the setting sun. Now, coming back to the bright blue sky, the cynosure or the attraction of the temple, the ceiling represents the blue sky, sun, moon, stars, which denotes that Freemasonry is universal. That is again a symbolic representation. Below the sun is a letter G that is seen suspended from the ceiling. So you can see here, this is the letter G which is suspended from the ceiling. The letter G denotes God or grand geometrician of universe. In front of you is the master's chair in the east. So this is the master's chair. Behind him towards the top end, you can see a small light-like thing. This is a small light-like thing. This, we call it as the all-seeing eye, which again denotes a superior or higher authority, which derives a symbolic meaning that whatever we do in action or speech, there is somebody watching us. As Freemasonry does not believe in a particular religion, but definitely believes in a higher authority who controls the universe, often referred as grand geometrician of the universe. This is because we descended from Masons, and architect and Masonry goes together. So whoever joins Freemasonry, the basic requirement is that he should have a belief in superior or higher authority. At the bottom of the floor is a checkered board. This one, the checkered board, or a mosaic painting. This flooring is painted in black and white squares, which denotes the quality of life. Highs and lows, like light and darkness, good and evil. This is another angle of the temple. But before that, I want you to understand that there are three principal officers who rule and control the lodge. They are the master, the most superior officer. Then comes the senior warden, and then the junior warden. So this angle is shot from the senior warden's pedestal, wherein you can see the master's pedestal. See, this is the master's pedestal, and this is senior warden's pedestal. So master in the east to open the lodge, and senior warden, the second in command in the west, to close the lodge as per master's command. This signifies the lodge symbolism. On the left-hand side picture, on the left-hand side of the master, little down over the temple, sits the junior warden. He sits here. And is the third most important officer of the lodge, assisting the seniors to run the lodge efficiently. His job is to control the brethren with proper allocation of work and provide them with essential break times. And more importantly, see to it that no non-Mason enters the lodge. On the right side picture, on the right side here is the secretary's table. Here. This is the secretary's table. The right hand side picture gives a view of the temple from the master's pedestal. This gives a clear picture to show how the lodge is placed, I mean the various positions in the temple. These are the various pictures of different lodges in India. And one very common thing to see is that the temple is of the same dimension and same attributes have been given and maintained. This is the temple of Pune Freemasons Hall and the temple. And then comes the Nagpur Freemasons Hall and temple. Magnificent, isn't it? Then comes the Bhusawal Freemason Hall and Temple. Lovely. Here comes Jalandhar. Jalandhar Freemasons Hall and the Temple. And this is Lord Heather at Munnar, Kerala. So basically the configurations are the same. The positions are the same. Wherever you go. So here, this is a picture of Master's pedestal. As you read here, let me read it for you. The lodge room is a room where Masons meet. It is often referred to as temple. This is because the temple is a place where a spiritual being is worshipped. Every act that is done in this temple is spiritual in nature, though not religious. Masons believe is a supreme being who guides and directs their course of action and who observes us, and believe that all religious books called volume of sacred law are equal and lay down the rules of our observance in life. Thus, the crux of the slide is all brethren are all welcome to Freemasonry, regardless of their caste, creed, color, or religion, but should have a belief in supreme authority. The picture on the top shows the district grandmaster conducting a meeting at the temple. He has his full team assisting him in full regalia, which means official accessories or insignia and all this. The inside picture is a close-up view of the master. His seat is in the eastern end of the lodge, or the eastern chair, as it is called. It is also called the chair of King Solomon. The master of the lodge is representative of King Solomon, expected to mete out justice and fairness to all the brethren or members of the lodge. In the picture, you can see the master in full uniform or regalia, as we call it. Unfortunately, some of them are not visible because he is seated. This is a picture of Senior Warden, the second in command of the lodge. Senior Warden sits in the west, the sun sets in the west, hence his duty is to close the lodge as per the command of the master. This is a Junior Warden, the third main officer of the lodge, sits in the south of the temple or towards the left side of the master, little below the master's pedestal down the temple. His duty is to see that no person other than the Freemasons are admitted in the temple, and also he is known as a steward of the lodge and in charge of the banquets. Junior Warden assists the two senior officers in smooth running and ruling of the lodge. Now, this is the secretary's table. He is the administrative backbone of any lodge. The secretary's role is to ensure that the lodge runs smoothly. He liaises with the District Grand Lodge of Bombay officers and United Grand Lodge of England on important communications and see to it that the lodge runs according to the bylaws and rules and regulations of the district. Generally, a senior member of the lodge or somebody who has become the master of the lodge in the past. Unlike the other posts in the lodge, which change on a yearly basis, the secretary is not changed and is continued for a good long time to create a continuity in the running of the lodge. Smooth running, regardless who the master is or the other officers are. In short, to cap it all, he is the hardest working person of the lodge. The letter G in close-up, hanging from the top. It represents the great geometrician of the universe. You may read the text for yourself for better understanding. The point of having G suspended from the ceiling denotes the grand geometrician of the universe, and he is with us all the time, and we must remember him in whatever we do, and he is in our midst always. You can read for yourself. This is a mosaic pavement. This is a close-up of the center of the floor. This checkered pavement in black and white squares reminds us about the duality of life. Ups and downs, the light and the darkness, the good and evil, which tells us that behind every dark day, there is a good bright day waiting, and after a good day, the dark day would also be waiting. This depiction teaches that we shouldn't be overwhelmed by either sorrow or happiness and have a balance in life. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a close-up photo of the all-seeing eye. It is located behind the master's chair on top center of the temple near the ceiling. Reminds us that there is a power seeing us, observing us, recording us in everything that we do, there and then. Therefore, my dear friends, we should be honest and upright in all the things we do in action and words. One of the 3 surviving pipe organs in actual working condition in Mumbai city. We take pride to own one and house it in our temple. The instrument of the year, we maintain it with great care, and it's regularly played during this ceremonial occasions by Masons. Incidentally, the other 2 pipe organs are housed in St. Thomas Church and Afghan Church in Mumbai. Aprons. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that there are 3 degrees in Freemasonry. The first degree or entered apprentice, the second degree or fellow craft, the third degree or master mason. All brethren who join Freemasonry are called entered apprentice. Okay, what is an apron? It is a protective gear that saves your dress from getting dirty during work. For operative masons, this was of a significant use. The first degree apron is plain and pure white. In olden days, it was made of lambskin, denoting purity and innocence. In modern times, aprons are made of canvas and or any other thick materials. Entered apprentice is always on the lookout to learn. The apron tells us that in first degree, the soul is there, the body is there, but the divine spark is not there, for which he has to graduate himself. This is the apron of the second degree. You can see 2 rosettes, which indicates work in progress. He has to spend some more time. Body and soul are together, but spirit is lacking. Wisdom has started penetrating. This is the apron of Master Mason, decorated with 3 rosettes and 2 silvery tassels, which indicates that the divine spark has penetrated the human soul. Ashlars. What are ashlars? Don't worry about the jargon. Ashlars are called the perfect stones, generally used in lining the facades of the building. In the picture, you see a rough ashlar at the bottom and a smooth or a perfect ashlar on the top. A rough ashlar signifies an unformed mason. He is raw and has got a lot to do, a long way to go. It also symbolizes your ambition in life. Where are you currently and what you want to be? After due process and trials, when he goes through his higher degrees, he becomes what is called a polished mason, perfect in all senses. And that's the explanation of rough and perfect ashlars for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the close of a wonderful session, and thanks for your patient listening. Now the session is open for Q&A. You may type your questions in the chat box so that we may try and address those questions for you. Thank you once again for your patient listening. Thank you so much.
Brethren, please type in your questions in the chat box. We will be pleased to answer them. What are the activities that Freemasons do? This is from Premal. Freemasons, apart from holding their meetings, are also involved the world over in charity activities. Some of them in Bombay are, we work with the Red Cross. We have an umbrella body for Bombay called the Bombay Masonic Benevolent Fund, which conducts and manages all charities of the lodges internally. We also support the Institute for Exceptional Children. We have sent out a lot of PPE kits and masks and other protective equipment for the Bombay police. The Nagpur brethren have dispersed dry rations to people and needy people within their area. There are also brethren who do charity on their own, but we believe that the left hand should not know what the right hand is doing. So we do not talk figures and we do not talk sums and we do not talk much about what charities we do either. Suffice it to say that we are involved very majorly in charity worldwide. Brother, I was with the Grand Lodge of Hubli this is Dipinder Kapani. Brother, I was with the Grand Lodge of Hubli in 1991 and have been out of touch. I would like to reconnect in Vijayawada. How could I do that? Brother Manoj, can you put up the last slide that you have of the District Grand Lodge?
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the details of the District Grand Lodge, our website, and a phone number that you can connect to. We'll get in touch with you. Please
take a note.
Get in touch on these numbers and we'll try and sort out your queries if we cannot answer it right away. What type of charity? Shravan NS to everyone. What type of charity? Education, food, skill enhancement, etc. Like I said, Shravan, all kinds of charity. Internal, external, and it's not just confined to the lodges. There are individual brethren from individual lodges who also do a lot of charity activity. So all sorts of charity. How and why did Freemasonry come to Bombay? And how did the locals become Freemasons? Freemasonry basically came to India with the British soldiers. They set up their lodges. And one of the first lodges in India is in West Bengal, Calcutta. It is still in existence. Gradually, they came to Bombay. And over time, they started taking in prominent citizens, industrialists, and men of a social nature, a social service bent of mind. And started with a few Parsis, and then everybody, like we keep repeating, we do not believe in any religion. Any person from any religion can come and join with us. They are most welcome to. What is the process to be part of the Freemasons fraternity? I have left the details again over here. You can get in touch with us and we can take it up from there. I beg your pardon, I've just been corrected by the Deputy District Grand Master. The correct website is not dglbombay.org. It is dglbombay.in. IN. Please make the correction. Thank you. All the information that you require is available on this website, and you can look it up. At the same time, if you have any further questions, you can get in touch with us at the phone number as well. Again, what are the joining formalities? It's there on the website. Now, this is a question which is interesting from OV. I assume, I don't know right or wrong, but looks like a lady. Is there any exception done for a woman join and to become a Freemason in India? Now, traditionally, Freemasons lodges have only had men as members, but there have been lodges, and in the recent past, we have started accepting women Freemasons as well, not into our lodges, but there are women Freemason lodges or co-lodges, co-masonry lodges as they are called. And there are one or two of them in Bombay, near the French Bridge in South Bombay. You can look them up there. One of them is called the Blavatsky Lodge. What is the total strength of Masons all over India? Okay. Now, Mumbai has about 4,000 total. The United Grand Lodge of England, which is the umbrella body for all English lodges, has about 330,000. Irish and Scottish, which are also two constitutions, have about 150,000. And there is another constitution called the Grand Lodge of India, the Indian Constitution. They have about 20,000 Masons. There's about 5 million Masons worldwide. America has a lot of Freemasonry as well and is very strong. And there are Freemasons lodges in Australia, in most countries in Europe, in New Zealand. It's an organization spread the world over. Okay, there was a gentleman who wanted to know how he could join Freemasonry in Vijayawada. Sir, I have the website for you. It is www.vijayawadamasons.com. This is the address for the web address for the lodge in Vijayawada, which is the oldest known operative lodge globally. Any records of that lodge? This is Mashir Pagadiwala, sir. Good morning. Now that's there is some controversy over there. There is one lodge that I read about. They claim to have records saying they are number 11. That is it is not confirmed yet, but that is the oldest known lodge generally accepted, but it is not 100% confirmed. I hope that answers your question, sir. This is Premal. Why is Freemasonry kept in secret? Activities kept in secret, understandable, but why keep the membership secret? Sir, if we were secret, we wouldn't be having this. We have about 100 members that we are addressing. We are open to the public. We are having an open house. So we are not keeping anything secret. You are welcome to talk to anybody. The numbers are there. The web addresses are there. I'm talking to you today. And you can connect with us anytime. Now, regarding why we have our meetings in secret, there are certain rituals that we practice, which we like to keep among ourselves. And it's like this. If I were to ask Mukesh Bhai to let me sit in on a meeting of the board of directors of Reliance, you think he would let me? So you got to join. If you want to learn what we do, you got to join. But otherwise, we are a very open society. We are open for question answer. You can contact us anytime. Everything that we do is available on the web. And feel free to contact us. OV again. I'm from Pune. So any co-masonry lodges here for women? No, madam, not that I know of. They're here only in Bombay. Sorry, but if something does come up, you can get in touch with our lodges in Pune. I will give you the addresses on the phone number that you contact if you are interested. Maybe they can help you out. How does this is Maiju Kutti. How does the Freemason organization sustain, fund the temples and buildings? See, again, like any organization, we have our expenses and we have certain fees to meet those expenses. There is a certain amount of annual subscription that you have to pay every year. And that keeps us going. And then again, like I said, there are a lot of donations from a lot of members who do not wish to be named, and we are quite comfortable. Thank you. From Purnima to everyone, I am curious to know if Hindu temple architecture in India are also built by Freemasons. No, madam. The persons who build the Hindu temples are a specialized family. They are not the same people who built the Freemasons Hall, nor contrary-wise. So it's independent. Why were this is Arpita Kumari? Why were Masons persecuted by church in history? Madam, they are still the church does not accept Freemasonry because of various reasons. Traditionally, they say that what we do is against the teachings of the church, but we are open, and you saw there is nothing that, as a matter of fact, we welcome everybody. Not only the church, a lot of other communities and people, individuals. One of them, classic case being Adolf Hitler, killed more than 500,000 Jews, killed actually during the Second World War. So we have always been persecuted, but we are now trying to open out and set that right by being honest and open about. We've always been honest and open about everything, but we've been misunderstood. We are trying to set right those misunderstandings and hope this goes in that direction. From Dev Bise, what are the costs associated with becoming a member? Like I said, there is a subscription, there is a joining fee like in any club, and it comes to around 12,000 rupees a year on average. Depending on lodge to lodge, there are some which might be more, there are some which might be, but it would be in that ballpark range. Sakshi Chawla, is there a reason why not all lodges are open to women and there is a need for separate co-lodges or women lodges? I said this is traditional, if you remember earlier, because we descend from operative Masons, Masons who actually did masonry, stonework. And because we descended from them, we continued, they didn't have any women Masons. The women ran the households, the men folk did the stonework. And because we Freemasons are descended from operative Masons, we followed that tradition. But now, like I said, it has opened out. And there is no bar on co-masonry. Now, separate co-lodges, women lodges, that is also something that is being looked at. This is Kant Daborkar. Ovi, there was a co-masonry lodge in Rastapet. This is in answer to Ovi's question about co-masonry in Pune. Ovi, I hope you read it. I'll read it out for you anyway. Ovi, there was a co-masonry lodge in Rastapet named Marie Curie Lodge. I don't know if it still exists. They came to me long ago for printing the bylaws. There you go, Ovi. I hope that helps you. This is from Nashir Pagdiwala. A lodge Bharti pertaining to ladies has been started at Gurgaon, named Lodge Bharti. So Gurgaon also has a co-masonry lodge. OV to everyone. OV, what is the difference between a Freemason lodge and co-masonry lodges? A Freemasons lodge is all men, co-masonry is women in general, where men can also become members. So it's men and women, whereas Freemasons is only men. As a member, this is Manohar Rodriguez. As a member, what are the compulsory commitments on a year-to-year basis? I said around 10 to 12,000 rupees on average. It may be less for some, it may be more for some, but that is approximately the ballpark figure. Thank you for SRS. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you. A few question is there any way that the subscription fee can be waived off, particularly for younger members? Now, how young is a question? You have to be at least 21 years old and a free person of your own will. Now, waiving, it's on a case-to-case basis. So you would have to get in touch and maybe we can discuss that. Is there a separate lodge in Thane or Mumbai is the closest? No, Mumbai is the closest. There is no separate lodge in Thane. This is in answer to Rajesh's question. Makarand Gadre says there is one co-masonry lodge in Deccan Gymkhana, Pune. Ovi, I hope all these are working for you. If this is from Arpita Kumari, if a person becomes a Freemason, do they leave their birth religion behind? Madam, we have consistently maintained that we do not even ask you your religion. Your religion is yours. It will remain yours as long as you choose to keep it. We look for a good person to make him better. We do not have anything to do with religion. As a matter of fact, discussing religion and politics in lodges is taboo. It is not permitted. Any co-masonry lodge in Bangalore? I will have to look that up. I'm sorry, Shravan, NS, if you can get in touch with us, because Bangalore, I don't, as far as I know, there isn't. But even Pune, I didn't know, and turned out there were 2 or 3. So this is from SRS. Can the subscription fee be waived? I've already discussed that. Anyone around Kolaba Radio Club who would be willing to catch up? I don't understand this question, SRS. Can you please clarify that? Dr. Gaurav Datta. This is your question, sir. Was Freemasonry has or had any link with secret society Illuminati? If I had a buck for every time I was asked that question, I'd be a rich man. No, sir. We do not even know if there is such a thing, such a society as the Illuminati. And if there is, we have nothing at all to do with it. We are Freemasons. You have heard what we do, and we are open, completely open. So please be relaxed and at ease. We have nothing to do with any Illuminati. This is Ranjit Garde. Where can I get further details of the co-masonry lodge at Pune? You can get in touch with our Pune lodges. I will tell the Pune brethren to put a contact number in this chat box itself. That will help you get in touch with them, and maybe they can guide you further. Sakshi Chawla. This is her question. Do the Freemasons take a stand and spread awareness on current social issues, domestic or global? No, madam, we do not discuss politics. You may say current issues can mean other things, then yes, we do take up charities for example, for the rains in Madras, in Chennai, for the rains in Kerala the year before that, and such other stuff, yes, internally and externally, we raise awareness and we try to raise funds as well. But politics and religion, no, madam. This is Navneet Pitti for connecting with St. George Lodge number 434 in Hyderabad. Oh, okay. This is in response to somebody's question. St. George Lodge. Oh, this is interesting. St. John's Lodge in Hyderabad celebrates its bicentenary, 200 years next year. Congratulations, Brother Navneet Pitti. We hope we can be there and be present at your celebrations. OV to every OV again. Sir, I missed the first part of this session. Can I register for the evening session? Madam, the registration is still open for the second session if you would like to attend, but this session will be put up on YouTube. You can watch it there anytime after a few hours, maybe tomorrow, not a few hours, tomorrow, anytime after tomorrow. You can watch it on YouTube. You'll have to look up Silvery Dawn Lodge and you'll get the links. Joseph Rodriguez. Okay, the Honorable Fraternity of Ancient Freemasons, Freemasonry for Women, founded 27th November 1913. Thank you, sir, for that very useful piece of information. Devesh, this is in response to the query. Those interested in joining Freemasonry anywhere in India can send their details on the link given below. For your benefit, I will read it out. It is dglbombay.in/how-to-join-Freemasonry /. I hope this helps. Now, this is Dave Vise. What are the pre-criteria for becoming a member? Sir, you have to be 21 years old. You have to come of your own free will. We do not push people. We do not accept people who have been pushed into that. Other than that, there is no other criterion. You can put in an application. You will be interviewed. You will meet people casually. And then you can make up your mind if you want to take it further. Are serving military personnel admitted? This is from Ashish. We have no problems, provided it is not breaking any regulation laid down by the government. Arpita Kumari again. There have been a lot of conspiracy theories that Freemasons control everything in the world, from banks to technology to governments, and Freemason symbolism is found in world currencies. Yes, this is about that eye on the dollar. See, it may be a coincidence that people who are into banking, there are about a dozen presidents of the United States who have been Freemasons. There are a lot of bankers who have been Freemasons, and a lot of other people involved in decision making who have been Freemasons. But as a general rule, we do not use what we learn or what we do in Freemasonry for doing ill to anybody. If it helps somebody, if it is going to do some good for somebody, we will go out of the way. But otherwise, conspiracy is about looking for us to control the world, or controlling banks and manipulating things and all. No, madam, we are not into that. This is Navneet again. Thank you, Brother Bimal. We'll have a grand celebration. Yes, thank you very much, Brother Navneet. SRS to everyone. What are the inclining factors that make one join Freemasonry, and what is it that makes you stay back? Inclining is it depends on which direction I am inclined in. If I'm inclined to join, I will stay, I will join. If I'm not inclined to join, I will not join. What makes you stay back now? For me, I'm having fun. I'm with a band of people who are like-minded, with whom I enjoy my one evening a month. It is a pleasure meeting with them. And even socially, we try and meet up occasionally, and that's the pleasure for me. Everybody else has their reasons, but one thing I must clarify here: we are not a networking club. If you are looking to network, please count us out. That was the last question so far, ladies and gentlemen. Any further questions? How often are the meetings? This is Rajesh. That varies from lodge to lodge. Some lodges have 6 meetings a year. Some lodges have 12 meetings a year. For example, the lodge that I am part of, the Silvery Dawn Lodge, we have 10 meetings a year. We meet on the first Thursday of every month, except in May and October at the Freemasons Hall in Mumbai. Dipinder Kapani. Very nice presentation and very nicely answered questions. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Any other questions? We had promised a 1-hour session. We like to remain punctual. Arpita Kumari has a comment. Thank you, sir, for answering my question so elegantly. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you, madam, for being so kind. Thank you very much. Brethren, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for having joined us. We look forward to seeing as many of you again as possible in the evening session. If not, this will be on the YouTube from tomorrow onwards. The link is Lodge Silvery Dawn or the Silvery Dawn Lodge. You can put that in. The YouTube link will open up and you can see this whole meeting again. Thank you very much. Once again, you may visit our website. It is www.dglbombay.in. Anytime you want information, please visit that. There is a phone number there as well. You can call that phone number. It will be answered and you will be referred to. You will be put in the proper direction. Thank you very much for joining all of us, for joining us. And